Hi there, cool kids. Welcome to Palette University. So, as you may have seen, there's kind of a tag challenge type video going around YouTube within the Pokemon community right now called the Poke Positivity Tag Video Challenge thing. I don't know the official name of it off the top of my head. Whatever the logo right here says is what it's called. But I'm in kind of the unique position that I have two channels and I got tagged on each of them. So I'm going to be doing sort of a collab with myself, sort of, and talk about aspects of both the Let's Player side of YouTube that I've been on for a couple years now, as well as the sort of theorist, sort of technical sciencey side of the Pokemon universe that I've been going at for a couple months now. So, first of all, I want to give big shouts to both PC Bloodmaster, who tagged the Cool Trainer Gavin channel, and Brett Mew XYZ, who tagged Palette University. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate the shouts. Their links will be down below in the description of both of these videos, because I think this will go up on both channels, but I'm not quite sure yet. I don't see why not, so heck it. Yeah, it's going up on both channels. So first question is, why did you join the Pokemon community? And I guess that sort of depends what you mean by community. I've been playing Pokemon since, so I was born in 1996. I'm kind of old. So I remember vaguely Gold and Silver coming out here in the States in 2000. That's the first time I remember playing Pokemon. Both Gen 1 and 2 literally taught me how to read. I talk about that quite a lot on both channels. So I guess I've been playing the games since 2000-ish. I started doing things online, however, more around Generation 5, like right around the middle of Gen 5. I started playing online early Black 2, White 2, because I remember very distinctly having, breeding and spending way too much of my life breeding and, making competitive teams just to play on Battle Spot, just for fun, nothing serious. So I guess that's the first online sort of interaction when I would get on some forums, mostly Smogon, but a couple other ones that don't really exist anymore. Just because Black 2, White 2 was forever ago. But just, talking about competitive stats and stuff. So that's the first time I really got into the Pokemon community, was sort of competitive stuff. Then as for YouTube, the Cool Trainer Gavin channel is actually pretty old. I started it in October 2016. And so how I got into that was basically, I just transferred to this school that I'm currently at. I went from a community college of, maybe 3,000 people, where I worked in two offices that literally everybody had to go through. So I would say, this is not even hyperbole, I would say at least 70% of everybody on campus knew who I was. So went from that really small town community college atmosphere to this university where I knew one person on campus of, over, 6,000 to 7,000 people, like a medium-sized state school in New York. And that was really weird for me, especially because high school, I went to a very small high school as well, so I was always used to always having somebody to talk to, always having somebody to, I'm, at least back in high school, I've kind of turned into a hermit since then, but back in high school I was very gregarious. I could move from, clique to clique to clique, and really nobody minded. I played sports, I did theater, I did basically everything you could do, student council, so I could move from, the jocks to the theater people to wherever, and I had friends everywhere. And coming here, where I knew one person, and I didn't really even know her that well, that was a big shock for me. So I spent a lot of time just sort of huddled in my room, and I spent a lot of time watching Shady Penguin. He was doing a Shady Lock at the time, and there was one episode, I wish that I could remember what it was, because I would go back and watch it, or link to it or something. But he just took 10 minutes out of the beginning of an episode talking about how much just pure joy and happiness content creation brought him. And I was like, I could use a little bit of that in my life. So I went out and bought a webcam, this one that I still use to record as my microphone. I don't use it as a webcam anymore because I got a better one. But the microphone on this one that I record on is kind of garbage. So I went out and bought a webcam. The package was broken, so it was like a $60 webcam for $5 at Walmart. I got really lucky, and I recorded my first video. It was a Pokemon Red Nuzlocke, and spoilers, we won. But he was right. He was just right. You know, that was something that I really enjoyed doing, was making that first, you know, handful of videos. They're very cringy, so if you want to go back and watch them, I'll link the playlist down below. Super cringy, but it's whatever. As for Palette University, I don't know. I think I was sort of torn toward the end of 2018. I would say probably like late October, early November. I had a bunch of videos that I really wanted to make. I was like, they just really don't fit in with the channel, because it's exclusively Let's Plays at that point. I used to do some Showdown competitive stuff, but not so much anymore. But exclusively Let's Plays. So I wanted to make some more sciencey type videos because, you know, if I want to be technical, which I mean, Palette University is all about being technical, so whatever. I am a geobiologist. I study biodiversity patterns over time. That's what I have published research in by the Geological Society of America. So I wanted to incorporate, you know, my 5 years at this point of scientific knowledge, plus I'm just a giant nerd. So I wanted to make some Pokemon nerd videos. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a whole new channel and, you know, post one thing a week on it if I've got the time. And I loved it. Making that first video, again, same feeling. Making that first video on Palette University just made me feel so good inside, and I've spent long enough talking about this point, so let's move on to the next one. What do you love about the community and the Pokemon franchise? And out of everything, I would say just how diverse it is. And I don't mean diverse as, oh, since Gen 6 you can make your character black now, which, to be fair, I think is fantastic. They could use a little gender diversity, but it's whatever. I mean diverse as in, there's something for everybody. If you are a competitive-minded player, you have Showdown, Smogon, VGC, whatever is your style. If you like to make really hard reads and like sort of longer drawn-out battles, you can go, you know, 6v6 Smogon. If you like to be really strategic and you're sort of like a chess type person, there's VGC. I personally love VGC, and I'd love to get back into it more if I've got time. And then out of competitive, there's Let's Playing, which is, you know, playing the story of the game, interpreting the story through your own commentary, which I think is always great. There is shiny hunting, and that whole sphere of people over on Twitch, which I definitely don't have the patience for. And then there's all sorts of, you know, the lore, the science, things like, you know, theory videos, things like that Palette University does. There's just something literally for everybody. And I love how it just has that power of bringing, you know, the really technical, nerdy people together with people who love that competitiveness. And it just brings them all together in one franchise. And I think that's fantastic. I can't think of any other franchise that has anything like that. What is your favorite video that you've made? This one's actually really tough because, frankly, it's been like 2.5 years for Palette University, and I kind of forget some of the things that I've done. I definitely forget some of the things that I've done. But if I had to think off the top of my head, I would say maybe not videos perhaps, but series, I guess. My second ever Let's Play on wow, I'm getting mixed up now. My second ever Let's Play on Cool Trainer Gavin was a Nuzlocke of Naturia, which everywhere I looked online was like, it's almost impossibly hard. You have to be like a Nuzlocking god to be able to do this. And I was like, watch me. And I think it was a great series, personally. Again, because it was my second series, it was rather cringy, not gonna lie. Link to that will be down below as well. I would have to say either that or my Bender lock that I did of Pokemon Ruby a while ago, which was essentially like an Avatar: The Last Airbender theme, which is another franchise that I personally love, and rolling that into, you know, my overall favorite franchise, Pokemon, was something that was just really neat for me. So I was really glad to see that do somewhat well for where I was at the time. I was somewhere around like I don't know, like 60, 70 subs around then. But it was nice to see that do somewhat well, for the time. And obviously I enjoyed making it quite a lot. As for Palette University, I would say overall, so far, my favorite videos that I've made, I would say is either tied between the first one, which is talking about what Venusaur really is, because that's still kind of a hot take. Or I would say that, or sort of my theory about Alola not actually being based off of Hawaii. Link to that, again, will be down below. There'll be all sorts of links all over the place in the description. But I think just because that really encompassed a lot of things. It was taking, something that somebody else had done, namely Birdkeeper Toby's, where are the regions compared to each other map, which, and applying my own experience and my own scientific knowledge to that, which is really all science is. You take something that somebody else said, published in a paper, and you sort of critique it and adjust it based on the current knowledge at the time and your own knowledge. So that's literally how science works. So I was a big fan of both of those videos. So number 4, name and talk about some other awesome content creators in the Pokemon community. So I'm going to focus mostly on the Palette University side of things on this one, because there's something sort of big in the works on the Cool Trainer Gavin side that you're going to see definitely in the next 2 weeks, probably in the next week. I'm not quite sure when everything's being orchestrated. I'm just kind of along for the ride. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. But as for on the Palette University side, the sort of technical theorist side, obviously Brett Mew XYZ, the person who tagged me in, for this challenge, Brett is a wonderful human. I'm a big fan of their low-stakes theories. Basically theories that, aren't just these massive, groundbreaking things like the Pokemon multiverse and all that stuff. It's just sort of like, hey, that's a neat idea. What if it were true? And I'm a big fan of that because a lot of times when I'm trying to think of video ideas, I get caught up in the big picture. What can I say to basically be like, oh wow, like this guy knows his stuff, this guy knows what he's talking about. And sometimes that's just not necessary, really. So I'm a big fan of those videos from Brett. Ruin Maniac Files is another fantastic channel. They don't post videos often, but I really love sort of the depth and breadth of each of their videos. I just want to disclose I've never spoken to the person who runs Ruin Maniac Files. If you happen to see this and you would like a geologist's input going into some of these ruins, let me know on Twitter. Link down below. And then another channel that I came across a long time ago, and I distinctly remember not liking it, and then having come back to it, years, well, maybe, perhaps years is an overstatement, but much later, and I'm like, wow, I actually quite like this guy's content. It's Hoops and Hip Hop. I'm a big fan of almost everything on that channel now that I've gone back and rewatched a lot of it. Like, for instance, let me just pull up his channel. Lately everything's sort of been about Generation 8, and I can't say that I blame him, but he does a lot of top 5s, top 10s, speculation type videos that are extremely well edited. His commentary is succinct and intelligent, which I really appreciate as a scientist and someone who has a really hard time being succinct. Big fan of Hoops and Hip Hop. And then one person that I would like to talk about on sort of like the Let's Play / competitive side is Mr. Talent. I have been a subscriber of Mr. Talent both on YouTube and Twitch ever since, a while ago, since his rebrand from Nips Clips, demonetized. But big fan. I came across him when him and Shady were first doing their collaborations because they're best friends IRL, and they've been neighbors I think since they were kids, honestly. And he streams every day. I think maybe 1 or 2 days a week, if that off. But if you sub to him on Twitch, you definitely get your money's worth. Definitely. Between he streams Smash a lot. Lately he's been doing you know, Twitch climbs the ladder of Pokemon Showdown, which I think is really neat, as well as his rival lot going on with Shady right now. So big fan of Mr. Talent as well. And lastly, tag 3 creators to continue this chain. And honestly, most of the friends that I've made through YouTube have either tagged me, being Brett and Nick or PC Bloodmaster, or been tagged by some of those other people, like Umbreon Libris, who I haven't talked to really much at all, but I'm also a big fan of their content. They're the ones that tagged Brett, and a lot of the people that Nick tagged, I also would have tagged. So what I'm going to try to do is find some people that I have not whatsoever had contact with, not real contact with anyway, and sort of plug their channels as well. The first of which being Mr. Talent. I pop into his Twitch streams whenever I get a chance, so Mr. Talent, if you see this, I'm Cool Trainer Gav on Twitch. I know I haven't come through in a while, but I'm still sort of lurking in the back. I put your streams on when I'm, you know, grinding out work during the school day. So big shouts to you. I'd love to see your thoughts on a video like this as well. Let's see. The second one being Hoops and Hip Hop. Like I said, I don't believe, not that I've seen anybody's tagged him yet. Again, I'd love to see, you know, your thoughts in this kind of a video format as well. And the last channel that I'm going to sort of plug here is Derek Triforce. It's a pretty small channel, less than 1,000 subs, but they do Pokemon profiles on a lot of different Pokemon. Just, you know, I have their page up here. Recently, the most recent video is a profile of the Lake Guardians. They've done one of, you know, Torterra, Volcarona, theory type videos, you know, are those Pokemon really dead? I'm sort of just reading off their page now at this point. But they don't, you know, post stuff often. It looks like usually once a month-ish. But, you know, small creators, you know, we got to help each other out. So links to all those people will be down in the description. Definitely, it would make me feel all sorts of good deep down inside if you went and checked them out, as well as all the links down below. Before I totally wrap up this video, I just want to give a shout out to literally everybody in the Pokemon community that's, you know, participating in all these things, because there's actually a lot of things going on behind the scenes right now with, you know, among content creators, just in the wake of, you know, all the things that have happened over the past, geez, month now. The amount of positivity and real community building that has come out of everything that's happened has just been so awesome, and it rippled through every part of the Pokemon community. Like I said, whether it be the shiny hunters, whether it be the theorists, the let's players, the competitive people, whatever, everybody's come together, and I think that's a fantastic thing. So like I said several times, check out all those links down below. Let me know which video, I guess, that I linked below of my own from either of these channels was the most cringy, I guess. I'm guessing it's going to be my first Let's Play, because I know I watch it and I'm like, oh god. Follow us on Twitter at palette_u. Also, our merch sales, sort of merch websites, are going to be down below, as well as the Palette University website, which is now up and running. Literally, there's going to be like 30 links in the description. Check them all out. They're all great. And as always, there's a time and place for everything.